Welcome to the podcast from the St. Louis Sportists, an occasionally smart, always irreverent look at sports in St. Louis and beyond. And now, your St. Louis Sportists.
Hello and welcome to the podcast from the St. Louis Sportists. My name is Ron Cook and I am joined by Joe Sperlin.
Hey, glad to be here. Hail to the victors.
I think I've heard that song before. Doug Lansdowne.
Yep. Good evening. Happy to be here again tonight.
I'm Mathis.
Hello, everyone. Happy Masters Week.
It is indeed, and our friend Keith Farrell is on assignment. In this edition, it is Masters Week. Who you got? Michigan is your NCAA champion, and the Big Ten rolls on. For the SEC, does it still just mean more? Cardinals are playing an entertaining brand of baseball, and what has gotten into Jordan Walker? The Blues gave all, but it's probably time to look to next season. St. Louis Sportists are brought to you by First Coast Steel Buildings. Jason and his team will take your project from design to completion with a family-first approach. Learn more at firstcoaststeel.com, and we'll hear more from them and Sandra Templeoff later in the show. And tonight's last call is brought to you by Black Dog Consulting, LLC, here to help the one-truck owner and the small fleet owner to grow and prosper. Contact Dave at 417-217-9622. Black Dog Consulting, helping you retrieve bigger profits. If you would follow us, like us, that would help us out a lot. We're on X, Facebook, Instagram, Dance Numbers on TikTok. We're also on Blue Sky, and you can watch this goofiness on YouTube. At STL Sportists, that's STL Sportists, SPORTISTS, and our website is stlsportists.com. Let's lead it off with quick hits. Joe Sperlin, what do you have?
You know, I watched the Masters Par 3 today for an organization that's very traditional. I'm not sure if there's not a better thing of something doing for families and kind of people to see the golfers in a different light, and for an organization that follows the rules.
Yeah, that's some fun stuff. And Tommy Fleetwood's son became like a minor celebrity here over the last couple days. He has a good swing too, Doug. My goodness.
Well, he's kind of grown up on the golf course. He probably can take a pretty good pass at it. Yeah.
I suppose so. Doug, what do you have?
I'll stick with that Masters theme, and if you have a chance before the Sunday's over sometime, watch the highlights again. It's the 40-year anniversary of the Golden Bear coming out of hibernation. So probably some of the best lines ever used by golf announcers during that last 9 holes in Jack's charge.
I love the story, and Doug, you can tell this better than me, but it was when wasn't Jack's son on his bag that day?
Oh yeah,
and he said that it was on the par 3 and
16.
He said that 16. He said that he wasn't sure. He said he could tell when he handed him the club he wasn't sure it was enough, and Jack hit the shot, and he looked back and said it was.
Yeah, yeah. He's like his son goes, "Be good," and Jack turned to look at him and goes, "It is." Yep. Yeah. If you get a chance, you just got to watch it. That's it's 40-year anniversary. It was great.
Yeah. Well, and one of the I'd argue one of the 5 great iconic sports shots, right up there with Ali standing over Sonny Liston, is Nicklaus with the putter.
Yep.
That's great stuff. Mr. Mathis.
So today is the 52nd anniversary of one of the biggest moments in baseball history, as far as I'm concerned, and that is Henry Aaron breaking Babe Ruth's home run record. I still don't recognize the other guy who has passed him by.
The guy with a big head.
As far as I'm concerned, Hank still owns that record. But that is one of my first baseball memories, is that home run, and how big it was at that time. Can you imagine, with all social media and everything today, what it would be like? And And I don't like to get into race, but for a black man and in the 1970s to break that record was huge. It was a huge deal. Hank went through a lot. He was a great man. He was a great player, and I just like to recognize him today for that achievement.
Yeah, and to do it in Atlanta, in the deep South, as they would say, too.
Exactly. Yeah.
One of my favorites, Al Downing, the pitcher that gave it up for the Dodgers, that gave up number 715, says he no longer says 715, he says quarter after 7.
I'm sure if, as many times as he said it, it probably got tiresome.
Yep.
Yeah, I wonder if he and Ralph Branca ever, got together and hung out, and so you too, huh?
Hey, yeah. Yep.
Well, so last week I talked about the Shohei Ohtani tumbler that was about $75 at Dodger Stadium. Well, this week I'm staying on the food beat. The Yankees have a viral food hit. It's called fried chicken dessert, Joe. That sounds like something you would make. Fried chicken dessert. They have 25-minute plus lines, they say, are the norm at Yankee Stadium. It's a chicken bucket, and it's ice cream shaped like chicken drumsticks covered with candied cornflakes and white chocolate, with a pretzel-filled center, and they look like chicken strips, and they're put in a bucket. Now, unlike the Dodgers, the Yankees are only charging $10.99 for these two ice cream chicken strips, the two drumsticks. And the Yankees senior director of communications said that given how well received the item has been, the tremendous interest, we have sold out of the item by the first inning of the game on Saturday. And then they thought they had a 6-game homestand to start the season, and they were out of this item by the third game. So it's apparently, it plays off of, I did not know this, but apparently the chicken, the tenders are like a big tradition at the Yankees. So this is like playing off of that. And so there you have it. If you happen to be in Yankee Stadium, want to wait in line for 25 plus minutes and have an extra $11, here you go.
I did not know George Costanza was still working for the Yankees. This has his name all over it.
This does have a Costanza feel to it, doesn't it?
It does. Totally.
This totally has a Costanza feel to it. I think my wife will definitely think that rings true. But closer to home, Tom, when we did our prediction show, there were several of us that were saying that Jordan Walker was starting the season on thin ice, and now he's ensconced as the cleanup hitter, and he has an OPS over 1,000. My, what a couple of weeks can do.
It is amazing. He had such a bad spring that they quit playing him in the last few games and just put him in the hitting lab. I guess the professor at the hitting lab was successful in his experiment. So it's really amazing. I mean, just a couple, earlier in the season, we were talking about why is Mason Wynn the cleanup hitter? Who can hit cleanup? Now it's Jordan Walker. And this little tidbit, Jordan Walker is leading the league in home runs with 5.
Doug, he has 4 in his last 5 games. That's not bad.
Not bad at all. And like I said last week, I'm not going to pile on. I'm not going to pass judgment. It's just been another fun week of watching them play. And, they give one away here and then they rally, and it's just there. I'm going on 2 weeks of really enjoying watching them play.
Yeah, I'm like looking forward to the games. I mean, it's kind of just a bunch of, as one of the guys said on KMOX today, Tom, it's for the first time in a long time. It's like you're looking forward, not just to the games this year, but like down the road. You can see a bunch of these young guys are going to be good in the next few years.
Exactly. And that's what we've all been hoping for, to have a little light at the end of the tunnel. And today my daughter called me. She goes, my daughter Morgan, she goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Watching the Cardinals." She said, "They're bad." I said, "No, they're not. They're good and they're fun to watch." And the thing about Walker, to me, is you can see the confidence in him,
Mm-hmm.
even in the outfield. You see it in the batter's box, but you see it in the outfield. And he made a running catch the other day, and he kind of snapped his glove like Jordan Bennington. And I'm like, he's got that confidence. He's going to be okay.
As long as he doesn't start snapping it like Andy Van Slyke, we may have to bring Bob Forsch back for an intervention.
Yes, we would.
Doug, it's not all rainbows and seashells. Left field is a little bit of a black hole until Thomas Saggese started. He's got at least 6 hits on this road trip.
Yeah. You sent the stat line out about Church, about what a struggle it had been. And then he got a home run last night and got a hit again today. And, Saggese, we've always thought he could hit. It'd be interesting to see if he got an everyday role or close to everyday role. So, and he's fine out there. He's okay defensively.
He's made a couple good plays. He's thrown a couple runners
Yeah.
out. He's made good plays out there. He's been pretty
Yeah.
decent. So I'm fine to lead him out there until they, come up with something different and give him the chance. We've talked about last year. Once he got in the lineup and got some ABs, he did pretty decent. It was when he's being a yo-yo between here and Memphis that his batting average was low. So just let him play, see what they can do.
Last night, so black hole number 2, last night, my lovely wife says to me, why is Pages still out there? And I'm like, well, you've got a guy down in Memphis who's hitting over 400 named Jimmy Crooks. Gee, Doug, how long before Jimmy's up here?
I think if you remember, I said that Pedro Pages would be the first regular to lose his job. So I would have been okay with him. I'd have been okay with him coming up Saturday.
Not soon enough, I think, is the correct answer. Joe, a few miles from you tonight, I guess it's already happened. Liam Doyle made his season debut in Springfield. Again, he's on the fast track, so there could be more help coming to the rotation. Or the bullpen,
I was going to say, how about the bullpen?
It's been hot and cold, Joe.
Hot and cold, that would be good. The only thing I worry about, you're kind of 10 games in the season, and it's kind of like, is this our guy? Can we go with this guy? Who's this guy? I mean, I thought that's what spring training was for, but they'll get that figured out.
Bullpen does tend to self-separate, and Doug, you pointed out the sleight of build Riley O'Brien. He's looked good so far.
Yeah, he has. The glimpses we've seen him last year, he looked good. So get the right guys in front of him, get in the right position. I mean, I like the way he throws.
Tom, you and I said Matt Svanson would lead the team in saves. We're looking like geniuses on that right now, aren't we?
Yeah, we're looking pretty smart. So he might leave Memphis in saves. How about that?
We didn't specify.
No, we did not
say. Did not say which team.
He might still have more saves, just be in AAA.
Mm-hmm. So the Cardinals have the Boston Red Sox coming to town. They anticipate pretty good ticket sales for that because, of course, that's one of those matchups that'll draw here downtown. So, Joe, the ABS system continues to be the talk of the league, and over this past weekend, 269 walks over the weekend, which was an MLB record. Do you think that genius Rob Manfred said, I know what the game needs, more walks?
Exactly. Or that call that was a strike, and it was a 1/16 of an inch outside, so that makes it a ball. Yeah. I'm sure the umpires union is loving that.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's still adjusting, aren't they, Doug?
Speaking of adjusting, the Missouri State High School Activities Association sent an email out to ADs and baseball coaches about, they were starting to have reports of, they called it unsportsmanlike conduct by players tapping their helmets during high school baseball games.
That's awesome.
Love it. Love it.
And they gave a little deal how they would handle that going forward.
That is tremendous. I wonder if kids have been ejected for that already, or
Well,
at least
they didn't
got
say
a good
it,
talking to.
but it was there. It was the third offense, so it was there.
Yeah, when I was playing for the Ava Bears my senior year, we had a freshman swing through a take sign on a 3-0 pitch with the bases loaded, and Coach Rex Sawyer called him down and gave him a talking to for about 30 seconds and then sent him back to the box. Maybe the umpire will just do that,
They'll get the right umpire. You'll just kick them out.
Yeah, and if you were on the team, you remember who that was that got the talking to.
No one
That's all I'm
Rexford, he
gonna
said,
say.
and don't take the bat because I'm not letting you swing it again.
My
Grab
question
the
is,
bat from him. Here, you won't be needing that for this pitch.
is that person on this podcast?
No. No. No, they are not. Hey, Tom, I was shocked to see the Pittsburgh Pirates actually signed a good young player, my pick for the Rookie of the Year, Connor Griffin, to a 9-year extension. What the heck is going on with the Pirates keeping a talented young player?
That was unbelievable. I mean, they announced that they were calling him up, and then they announced that they were signing him to extension before he ever played a game. I mean, it's pretty Pittsburgh-like, I guess I'll say. I mean, they've just never done anything like that. Makes you wonder if they've approached Skeens with an extension and what kind of reaction they got from him.
Doug, do you think Paul Skeens got a message from Livy Dunn saying, why didn't they do this for you?
There's no telling what has been said in his ear after they gave that to Griffin. So, but you don't ever see a young pitcher get offered a contract or sign a contract. It's the position players that get that.
That's true. And speaking of young pitchers, one of the very talented pitchers for the Chicago Cubs, a Northsider, Cade Horton, who last year, we know that ERA plus is an index. 100 is your league average. Last year, his ERA plus was a 144. Talent, and that was his 24-year-old season. Joe Sperlin, he's getting ready. I saw last week that he had forearm discomfort, and I said, "Oh no!" Yep. That's the canary in the coal mine, and he is now getting ready for his second Tommy John surgery and will miss the entire season. Second TJs are a little bit of, since you're our resident TJ expert, Joe. Second TJs are a little dicey.
Yeah, I mean, it's the deal of the arm's not meant to do certain things, and putting another one in there, as you said, I believe, what was it, 65% success rate of returning back to their career. So not good at that age.
No, 65%, and they say, Doug, that it significantly shortens the length of the career.
Yeah, how could it not? Like Joe said, the arm, certain parts of the body can only do so much.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking, if you have a 65% free throw, shooter at the line, that's not something you feel great about. Cubs also lose Matthew Boyd for a period of time. He was an all-star last year. Tom, as they used to ask on The Simpsons, is it time to panic in Chicago?
They've got to be worrying. And if they expected a lot out of Boyd, same as what they got last year, that was quite troublesome, because I mean he's never had a season like he had last year. He was healthy for the whole season. To try to get it again was wishful thinking.
Yeah. Joe, anything as MLB correspondent at large we need to know about the MLB?
Well, like I said, there are about 11 or 12 games. The Yankees, best record in the American League. The Dodgers, getting what you pay for in both of them. Best record in the National League. But look out. The revived Big Red Machine of Cincinnati. 8-3. Look out.
Uh-huh.
And Ron, I'll let you give the play-by-play of a pretty good baseball brawl for considering baseball the other night. As your saying goes, you saw it live.
We did see it live. We had it on screen 4 down here. Jorge Soler was involved. And, actually, the Angels have been playing entertaining baseball between Joe Adell jumping into the stands on Saturday night and making one of the great catches you'll see. But last night it was a brawl. And there were some haymakers thrown, was the way that the Athletic referred to it. Just some pretty good swings and people holding people back. And, Mike Trout getting the guy like, kind of like in a hockey situation. So, that was, that'll wake you up in the first couple of weeks of the season.
One pitcher, or the pitcher, Lopez, he threw a punch with the ball in his hands. Forget brass knuckles.
Never seen that
He's gonna
before.
use the baseball.
Never seen that before.
Did you see the 4 umpires? You can't see them. They are nowhere near that. That's the thing. You got to look and look and look. I mean, those guys, one of them standing there, I think it's the first base umpire. He just standing there with his arms behind his back, just watching. I mean, they got nowhere near any of that action.
Don't blame them.
Okay. So, on a much calmer pastoral note, Doug, it's a tradition unlike any other. The Masters.
Yes, sir. Rory trying to repeat. There's only been 3 of the guys do that. Seeing what we haven't seen Bryson and Rahm, see what they do. So, which I think Bryson has a really good shot at winning. So, he tends to figure things out and stuff, everything. I think those are probably the 2 biggest storylines. Usually the thing about the Masters is there's not usually a guy that wins it that's a long shot. I mean, you go back and even when Tiger won in 2019, I think he was 14th in the world rankings. I mean, it almost always is somebody lurking around in the top 10. Now there'll be some old guy that'll hang in there and do some stuff and everything. And I don't know if you can count Adam Scott in that crowd anymore. He's so good. So, or not Adam Scott, but Justin Rose. So I think Adam Scott, I think he'll show up, be around a little bit on Sunday.
Hang on.
Xander.
Doug, I'm being told Danny Willet would like a word.
I don't think you'll see him on the first page. No.
10 years for him, by the way. That was 10 years ago.
Yep. It was. Yep. The tournament that Jordan gave away. Yes, it was. So, that, and that also happens at Augusta. Every 4, 5, 6 years, somebody just gives it away. So,
Craig Norman.
Oh, you beat me to it.
My mother said she cried that day.
Yeah, I didn't.
Ed Sneed for those guys that, if you want to go back a little ways, bogeyed the last 3 holes and then lost in a playoff to Fuzzy. So,
Yes.
Xander, I think I said that a while ago. I think Xander has a really, really good week. So,
I've read a lot of people saying Rahm's been playing great. Nobody's seen it because it's on the live, but they think he has a pretty good chance. So we'll see. But to me, those guys playing on live, they just haven't. The competition they're facing just isn't strong enough to come into here and go up against some of the better golfers.
You said something incredibly funny there that I just want to say I caught. No one's seen it since it's been on live.
That's for sure been true the last 2 years because, that first year, some of them had just gone to live and, they still competed. Brooks won, but yeah, the last 2 years when they have been almost specifically playing live, they've not stepped up.
No, this is going to be the first Masters since 1994 to have neither Tiger nor Phil Mickelson. Can you believe that action?
Yeah, it's amazing. It'll be amazing how many times they mention that during the next week too. But how I'm kind of with Doug. I just one, of course, to me, Scotty, you can never count him out. And then I'm with Doug. I think Bryson's going to be there. He's going to be around there and keep things interesting until he just blows up and then just walks around like he doesn't know what happened.
I used to call John Rahm Mr. Anger Management, but between him and Bryson, I mean, both of them are like ticking time bombs, Doug.
Yeah, Rahm has calmed down a little bit. He used to, if somebody sneezed 4 holes over, he'd stomp around and slam his club down and stuff. So he's calmed. That was always funny. He goes to live where they blast music, and all that stuff and everything. And he was the guy, almost as bad as Colin Montgomery. They said he could hear somebody sneeze 4 holes away. So, and Bryson, like Joe said, he gets in his own head occasionally. So
$100 million would calm anybody down.
that's true.
It's like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine playing in a disco. So we have the tradition of Augusta will now be featured on Prime. That's right, streaming from noon to 2. Doug, are they only doing that on Thursday and Friday, or is that all 4 days? Have you heard?
All 4 days.
All 4 days. Oh my
Saturday,
goodness! So
Saturday and Sunday they stream from 11 to 1, and then CBS takes over at 1, I think.
Wow. A story I saw today said that if they're, keep an eye on Amazon Prime, because that could be your first streaming Super Bowl, believe it or not, Joe Sperlin.
Yeah. It's
If they just keep getting big events like this. Yeah. Concession prices are out. Inflation has not hit Augusta. Doug, I notice you can get a beer for $6 and a very reasonable breakfast and lunch again as well.
Yep. It's been that way for a long, long time, and I don't think they have any intentions on changing.
The pimento sandwich, and then there's an ice cream, peach ice cream that they say is a must try.
Mm. That and the Georgia pecan caramel popcorn looks delicious.
Well, yeah, I'd go for that. And as Joe mentioned earlier, for the love of God, leave your phones at home. I love the pictures of the honest to God phone booths that they have there.
My winner is someone Doug brought up, and that is Justin Rose. I just think this might be his year. So he was playing pretty decent earlier in the season, and I think he'll come out on top.
And Doug, if you are down to one winner, who are you going to say?
I'm going to say Bryson.
All right. I am going to say I'm going to go against the grain and say Rory. I just why not?
Yep.
He waited this long. We had one shining moment, Joe Sperlin, for the Michigan Wolverines on Monday night. The Ken Palm said that going into the tournament, they would have been the number 1 team in 30 of the last 32 years. Is this an all-time elite championship team?
No, because they certainly didn't play like it. Now, if they would have had everybody full speed and if they'd have blown them out, then yeah, but they were kind of lucky to win. They had some breaks, and of course, shooting at that other goal, no one could make a basket at that other goal, because I think Michigan didn't make a 3, and then UConn didn't make one till they banked one in. But I thought it was a good game. I did not think Michigan played well. UConn hung in there. Hurley is a covering machine, and I'm not a big Hurley fan, but by golly, the guy got him there again. After St. John to give him the beating of his life in the Big East Finals, I mean, people just pretty much counted him out. And but boy, he found a way, and he did not Gino it after the game. I thought for sure he would rip the officials, and he said I could have those guys every night and sleep at night. Michigan's got to keep the money to keep all those guys there.
Yeah,
that's true. Hey, Doug, our old friend Al McGuire used to talk about a team going too fast and being out of control. It almost seems like both teams were out of control for periods of time during that game, like just kind of running with no purpose.
Yeah, Joe's right. I kept watching it and thinking, Michigan's not playing just that good. But hell, they were always up 6 or 8 or 6 or 8, 6 or 8. And I thought that, I bet I thought that 10 different times and stuff. So they're just so freaking big. But how about giving Dusty May some credit? He gets Florida Atlantic there. And then, because he gets Florida Atlantic to the Final Four a couple of years ago, then Yexel Lindenberg wants to go play for him at Michigan. So, yeah. But, you got to give him some credit, doing a really, really good job. So they were just, like I said, they're so big.
Doug, how about them convincing his point guard to throw the ball against the backboard and let the big post player just get it? I mean, it was like, well, they're not going to let us lob it, so just throw it off the backboard a couple of times, and he'll get the rebound and he'll score.
Yep.
That's some out-of-the-box thinking.
And then tomorrow, I mean, our buddy Mick Cronin, he couldn't do anything with him, and now he comes to Michigan, and he looks like a superstar during the tournament.
Tom, I think the Morrow kid said it best when they said something about him playing at UCLA, and he said, "I got to sit around and watch a lot and learn." When they asked about him,
well, well, but sometimes that's a good thing. But if you're 7'4", you might be able to learn on the court.
You would think so. And again, one of the moments I think that I'll never forget was when he blocked the Robbie Avila turnaround, like no problem.
And I still think that he was the reason Arizona lost that game, is they were intimidated by him. Arizona, they went inside most of the season, and they weren't doing that Saturday night. And I think that he had them intimidated.
So the Big Ten wins the men's championship, the women's championship, and our friend Mr. Google Me Signetti and his Indiana Hoosiers have the football championship. Joe, does it still just mean more, or is it a Big Ten world? We're just living in it.
Well, football, it's been a while since the SEC's won. And, I believe the SEC commissioner was kind of talking about that the other day, about how things have changed due to expansion, as he called it. And, well, by the way, you're the same guy that's sitting there going, maybe it's time for us to go do our own thing and not be involved with the NCAA anymore. But,
So Indiana's an expansion team? Michigan's an expansion team?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And as I told someone, I forgot UCLA is in the Big
Ten.
To know. Yeah.
I saw someone arguing that should have counted as a Pac-10 championship for UCLA, but oh well. It's hard to keep track. We have reached the halfway point in this episode of the St. Louis Sportists podcast, and with that, it's time to hear from the good folks at First Coast Steel Buildings. After the break, just a lot going on in the NCAA, even though football and basketball are pretty much over till August. Have the Blues finally run out of gas? And, oh my goodness, St. Louis City shows some promise. All of this and more when we come back.
Spring storm and tornado season has arrived. Are you prepared? Why not build a new steel barn-dominium or outbuilding that will have you ready to weather the storms? Do you want your next home or building to be engineered for the proper wind loads for your area? Then look no further than First Coast Steel Buildings. First Coast Steel offers excellent material value and can help to reduce your insurance costs. And they can help you with your needs right here in the Midwest, where we see tornadoes and flooding, along with infestations of mold, rodents, and termites. Let First Coast Steel design your next building project and keep you and your family safe. Call 912-314-4848 or get inspired and design your own by visiting them online at 1stcoaststeel.com. Storms will happen. Prepare yourself with a new First Coast Steel building. Discounts for military and first responders.
And we are back on the St. Louis Sportists podcast, joined by Joe Sperlin, Doug Lansdowne, and Tom Mathis. My name is Ron Cook, and Joe, we're going to stick with the NCAA a little bit here. There are currently 2,901 players in the men's basketball transfer portal, but there's only 5,607 Division I players total, so more than half the guys are in the portal.
That seems like a lot.
It does seem like a lot. Are all of them going to find a landing spot?
No.
No.
I mean, that's the deal. They don't publicize that, how many of them don't find a place. And then you got entire teams that are done. I think one of them was Indiana State, said they had one guy left. Tennessee's women, they all left, including their number one prospect.
Exactly.
All left. But then come to find out they had a mutiny, and one of their assistant coaches was causing problems, and that's taken a lot of a program like Tennessee women. But hey, everybody's looking for money. Like I said, through Jim Pendergrass and his source, some of the money that some of these women basketball players are asking for is amazing. That big gal from Iowa State, that big gal.
Audie Crooks, yes.
Yeah. $750. $750 is what she's asking for.
She doesn't weigh that much. She doesn't weigh that much. You've got the wrong number.
No.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Sorry. That may get us in trouble. Sorry.
We may have to delete that.
We'll edit that out. We'll edit that out. She's kind of obviously the prize of the portal right now. They're talking about which powerhouse she's going to go to, and they'll be an instant title contender.
Yeah. So talking about how much these players are asking for, I heard T.O. Barrett leaving Missouri. He's asking for 7 figures.
What?
Yeah. Exactly.
Ron, asking and getting are two different things.
Factually correct.
Yep.
Factually correct.
Sure.
But Tom, you went on to the next thing I have here on our list, which is all of the Mizzou point guards are in the portal right now.
Bye. See ya. We've got guys coming in. We got guys coming in who can handle that. So you're fine.
It's addition by subtraction, as we say occasionally here.
Anthony Robinson never improved in his 3 years here.
He could foul.
With the
really
best
good.
of them. Yeah, he was the best. And T.O. Barrett, I mean, he had a couple of good games after he started, but then he just went back to normal. So, and Sebastian Mack, he's out there asking for money too. He couldn't even get off the bench here. So, I won't miss any of those players.
My second Simpsons reference of the night, we did call T.O. Barrett Sideshow Bob down here in the Thunderdome. Just going to say that.
Yep.
Doug, the 5-year rule, according to the NCAA, where once you turn 19, you've got 5 years to complete your eligibility. That means we won't see some of these 27, 28-year-old guys. Now, there are some exemptions for things like the BYU situation, which is, your religious missions and things like that. But it sounds like this may happen.
I hope it does. I think it's they'll find some flaws to it. They'll find some loopholes, legalities and stuff. But for the most part, it looks like it could bring some semblance of order to all the crap that's going on.
And they're also talking about limiting transfers. I've seen, and now this is not confirmed. The 5-year rule sounds fairly certain, but I've seen things about like a single transfer or something along those lines. Joe, have you seen that as well?
Yeah, I think they're trying to control just the guys going somewhere different every year. And I did see that I can't remember who the player was. I think it was a Central Florida. He's at Central Florida or was at Central Florida that got a 8th year of eligibility for next year. Don't know who the player was, but they did announce he had don't know the story, but he had an 8th year of eligibility for next year.
My gosh.
San Jose State has a player who's entering the portal. I think San Jose State was his 5th team, and he's looking for a new team. He's from Arkansas, so Who knows?
Oh dear. Well, we'll see. Hopefully, the days of the receding hairline guys are. Now, I say that. Doug, you remember Granville Waiters at Ohio State? He had a receding hairline.
Yep, he did.
It had receded.
Yeah, that's true. He was kind of bald. So let's see, Tom. 76 teams in March Madness. That sounds like it's about to be announced in the next couple weeks as well.
Let's just make everybody eligible. Just start with all 320 some teams and just work it down. I don't know why you got to add more games to this. Yeah,
Not enough Jets.
I guess. Yeah, exactly. We had that problem earlier this year. So you're going to have a week of playing games now.
Doug, have you heard any of the? So it will be more play-ins, and of course, everyone's saying, okay, so does this mean more like Auburn's get in, or does this help the mid-majors? And I guess we'll find that out next spring.
That's a really good question. Yeah, I don't know. Do you want the 16 and 15 Auburn team in? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find that out next March.
I want to see the mid-majors who were 20-5 and nobody would play them, so they couldn't get enough points on the whatever they use anymore to grade the teams. So,
Joe, did you have Michael Malone as your new North Carolina head coach? Was that just the name that immediately sprang to mind whenever that job came open?
He was not on my list. I actually assumed they were waiting until the championship game was over and they were going to give Dusty May a blank check, but and then Dusty May said the day before, I'm not interested in North Carolina, and then they must have been waiting on him. As the old saying goes, their people may have been talking, but yeah, I don't think he was on anybody's list.
I think Tommy Lloyd they were really after him from what I heard, and then he signed an extension with Arizona. And then they may have pivoted to May. I said they needed to go outside the North Carolina family, and boy, did they ever go outside the North Carolina family.
Yeah. Doug, do you think they had a scene with Dusty May like in The Firm where if you're half the coach we think you are, you don't need to open that envelope, and it just didn't.
I didn't think about that. I bet they did. Yes, I think they did. Yeah, I don't. I tell you what, when they announced they hired him, for about 10 seconds there, I was like, I don't know who that dude is.
I didn't either.
I'm like, who? Wait a minute. I think I should know him.
Same.
Who is that guy? And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. That was the NBA guy. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, not being the biggest NBA fan, I'll admit I had to look him up. So, Street and Smith, not Street and Smith, but the Sports Business Journal podcast I listened to had something, Joe, onto our business of sports. So teams can have their jersey sponsor this year. And so they're talking about in the college football playoff and in March Madness, whenever they have conflicts. So, let's say that your jersey sponsor is Verizon, and then you go into March Madness, which is wall-to-wall sponsored by AT&T. Do you have to take your jersey patch off? Things we didn't think of a few years ago.
Well, as we like to say, there
things we
will
don't
be
want to think
lawyers.
of now.
There will be lawyers on that. My God, I hope someone is sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings so we don't see the Buffalo Wild Wings commercial over and over and over and over.
Our group was obsessed with the fit of Charles Barkley's suits for some reason. I think, he's lost some weight. Good for Chuck. It's good to be healthy, but they were really obsessed with how the jacket was hitting him on the shoulders. It was hard to get away from that. But yeah, no, the Wild Wings and Chuck and Samuel Jackson.
The new AT&T spokesperson, bring back Lily, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd agree with that. So yeah, that's and typically you do get tired of those commercials after that first Thursday, and then there's no escape. So
Nope.
Speaking of no escape, Tom, I think the Blues, man, they made a run, but they've just lost a few too many games here the last couple of weeks.
They have, and they've won a few too many too for my liking. Right now, I think you have the what their percentage for playoffs at what? What is it now?
The money puck percentage is 0.5, which is down from 5.2.
Yeah.
They're 33, 32, and 12. 5 games remaining and 5 points out.
So their percentage to get the first overall lottery pick is 6%. So I'm going with that 6% right now.
6% for the first pick.
Yeah, I'd be happy with that.
What do you think the Colorado games have taught us? Because we did get to see kind of how we stack up against an elite team here. I said, by the way, I think Jared Bednar looks like a crooked politician. He looks like someone that's like up to be indicted.
He does. You're right. That's a good analogy. I don't know. I mean, but the thing is, you outplay him there in Denver, then you come back home and you lose 3-1. I didn't get to see the game last night, but I've heard Kyrie wasn't very good, so that doesn't
Non-existent.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me. And and the one thing, Thomas, the last 2 years especially, he's almost invisible the first half of the year. And I don't know if both years have been injuries or what, but then he comes back. Last year they said he had a chip on his shoulder for not getting in the uh, 4 Nations, and then this year the Olympics, and then the trade deadline. And he's turned himself around. But why such a stark contrast between the first half and the second half of the year? And you know, to be an elite player, he's got to play like that the whole season.
The whole season. And he's kind of put himself in an interesting position because he's played really, really well. And so if you're the Blues, do you say, hey, we need this guy to be a good team next year? Or do you say, hey, his trade value's never been higher?
Exactly. I mean, now that they're probably asking for 3 or 4 picks / prospects at the trade deadline, well, now you're probably asking for 5. So he's put himself out there where what you can expect or hope for. You just don't know if you can expect it all the time.
Yeah. So they will play out the string here. I haven't looked to see if they have a chance to be a spoiler for anyone else, but
well, they do. I mean, I think everybody else is in. Utah at the last game, I don't know. Utah probably already have everything clinched, so I don't think that they'll be able to spoil anybody's fun. So, one other thing to think about too is Brady Tkachuk in Ottawa might be heading for a divorce. The Blues have the capital to go out and make that trade right now. They probably didn't when his brother Matthew got traded, but I think they have it now. They have some good young players in the pipeline. So
yeah,
they need to really look at that. And that'd be a great opening trade for Alex Steen.
That would be fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens with the Blues here, getting ready, of course, for the what should be yet another interesting off season. The your St. Louis City. Brendan McSorley played the role of hero and got a tying goal in stoppage time in New York on Saturday night. City now 1-3-2. Joe, they've climbed from 30th to 18th in the MLS power ratings.
Boom.
Joe, do you put those power ratings out?
No, I do not. I do not put those out.
Saturday 7:30 against FC Dallas, and so they've got 3 games in 7 days. They have a week from tonight the U.S. Open Cup. They play FC Tulsa, which is kind of it's a little bit like the FA Cup in England, where you get to play all of these other smaller teams. And then and then on the 18th they will play at Seattle, which is never an easy game. So yeah, there's your St. Louis City report, which brings us to the last call, brought to you by Black Dog Consulting. Did you know with over 38 years in the transportation industry, Dave knows where to look to find those pennies per mile that make the difference between just getting by and profit and growth. From one-truck operations to small fleet owners, he has a proven multi-million-dollar track record to help you retrieve bigger profits. If this is the growth you're looking for, contact Dave at 417-217-9622 or David at blackdogconsultingllc.net. You can also check out the website, blackdogconsulting.net. Black Dog Consulting, helping you retrieve bigger profits. You can send Dave your master's picks. I'm sure he'd like to know that. We have reached the last call. Joe Sperlin, what do you have?
NFL draft here in 2 weeks. Get that on your calendar. And then SEC Media Days in Tampa, July 20th through the 23rd. Big Ten Media Day in Chicago, July 28th and 30th. And then there's only 142 days till week 0 of college football. So get that countdown started.
All right. Douglas, what do you have?
I don't really have anything in particular. Just hope everybody gets to watch the Masters and enjoy it. And it is a premium golf event. There's always lots of stories and everything to it. So that's my last call. Is I hope everyone just gets to watch a lot of good golf.
I tell you, Doug, there's a guy that Sperlin and I have been following on Twitter probably for 15 years named Kegs and Eggs, Adam Kramer. And he said, I don't know which is the best use of HD, the Rose Bowl or the Masters. But he said one is 1A and one is 1B.
Yep.
Yeah. Good point.
And even if you don't like golf, it is just gorgeous to watch.
It is.
Yeah, check it out. Tom, what do you have?
So I think for the next few months, I'm going to make my last call about the Cardinals minor league players. Some guys who are kind of playing a little bit better than we expected, or maybe a little bit worse. So my players this week, Blaze Jordan, who they got from Steven Matz last year. He is hitting .467 with an on-base percentage of .515 and an OPS of 1.382 down in Memphis. I think maybe he could be a DH here, give them some power that they sorely need. My next guy is Matt Kopernick. He is hitting .316. He's got a .375 OPS on-base percentage, and he's hit one home run, but I think he might be able to play left field up here. And get him some good at-bats. Next player is Nelson Velasquez. Everybody was upset when he got sent down at the end of spring training. Well, Nelson's hitting .083. His slugging percentage is .208. And he's got 7 strikeouts. So I don't think that was what they expected when they sent him down. He's got to calm those strikeouts down and maybe get on base a little bit more.
So for my last call, Joe, you know how we've said the question is always, is it the International Olympic Committee or FIFA that is the most crooked sports organization in the world? Well, FIFA's trying to regain the crown here. The World Cup ticket buyers are freaking out and threatening lawsuits because they're saying FIFA has misled them with their stadium maps on where their seats are. Now, you remember we talked some of these World Cup seats are like $1,700 a ticket. So they put out these seat maps with like 4 zones where you could buy your tickets, color coded. And it turns out that last week when they started to convert, the tickets to assignments, some people that bought Category 1 tickets, which are the closest, found themselves in Category 2. And one of the ticket buyers in the Athletic article said a lot of people feel misled or confused or maybe just generally let down about the way the seats were assigned. FIFA, in an emailed response, I would say written by someone like me, but I would never write something this bad. Remember when I said they're corrupt? Listen to this. FIFA said, this is one of the worst statements I've ever heard in my life from a sports organization. They said that the map was, they called them indicative category maps, and they were to help fans understand where their seats could be located within a stadium, and they were designed to provide guidance rather than the exact seat layout and reflect the general extent of each ticket category within the stadium.
There's key words there, Ron. There's key words. Within the stadium. Your seat is within the stadium. That's it.
And then another frustrated fan said, you feel like you can't trust them. The process keeps changing. The seats keep changing. So anyway, FIFA, World Cup is just not exactly going smoothly so far. And we will see all of you next week on the St. Louis Sportists podcast. And until then, take care.
And that wraps another episode of the St. Louis Sportists podcast. Please like and subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest episodes. You can find these guys on all major podcast platforms. And thanks for listening.